The Diocese of Clonfert is a Roman Catholic diocese in the western part of Ireland. It is in the Metropolitan Province of Tuam and is subject to the Metropolitan Archdiocese of Tuam. The current bishop is the Most Reverend John Kirby, who was appointed by the Holy See on the 18th of February 1988 and on the 9th of April 1988. Geographic remit. The diocese covers almost the whole of East Galway, with one parish in County Offaly, while the parishes of Tuam, Cray and the half-parish of Ballinasloe lie in County Roscommon. This was the ancient territory of the Kingdom of Uí as it existed when the diocese was formed. In fact, the bishop of the diocese was sometimes referred to as the Bishop of High Many. The major towns in the diocese are Ballinasloe, Lochria and Portumna. The cathedra is currently located at Lochria but was historically Clonfert Cathedral. History. Early history. The bishopric was established in A.D. 550 and the diocese in 1111. The early Irish monastery and school of Clonfert, founded by St. Brendan, was the dominant ecclesiastical centre in the area and an important centre of learning in the early Irish Church. Cummin, an important theological writer, was from there. It was also deeply involved in the 8th century spiritual reform movement of the CE-Lide. St. Brendan's fame as a seafaring missionary contributed to its pre-eminence in later times and led to its choice as an episcopal see in the 12th century. Like most dioceses in Ireland, the present Diocese of Clonfert had its origin in the Synod of Rathbresale in 1110, reaching its final form at the Synod of Kells in 1152 when it was made a suffragan of the Archdiocese of Tuam. Feudal period. In 1170, the Annals of Clonmacnoise record that there was a great convocation of the clergy of Ireland at Clonfert by commission from the Pope for the reformation of certain abuses of a long time used in Ireland, which was presided over by St. Lawrence O'Toole, presided as papal legate. In the early 13th century, its bishop was one of those appointed by Honorius III to investigate a dispute over the election of the Bishop of Ardfert. Later that century it was provided with John, a bishop of Italian birth, one of the very few occasions when this happened in Ireland. Bishop John remained in Clonfert for many years until he was translated to Archbishop of Benevento in the 1290s. Because of the quality of its land, a century later it was judged by Rome to be richer than its metropolitan see and ordered to pay 300 gold florins as the tax on the accession of a new bishop, while Tuam had to pay only 200. The diocese was divided into 4 deaneries: Clonfert, Lochria, Arachri and Dunairy, having 15 rectories and 39 vicarages with a chapter and offices after the Norman pattern. 4 houses of canons regular and 4 of canonesses were established in the Irish deaneries. In the 14th and 15th centuries, bishops introduced the mendicant orders: the Franciscans to Kilconnell, Kilnallahan and Meelick, with the Third Order to Clonkeen Carroll and Gilbot, the Dominicans to Portumna, with the Third Order to Kilcorban, and the Carmelites to Lochria. Kingdom of Ireland. The canons disappeared with the English Reformation, but the mendicants remained and were an important factor in maintaining religion structures during the penal laws until, with the establishment of Maynooth College in 1795, the flow of secular priests became adequate again, evading the law by registering as parish priests in 1704. They served 1/3 of the parishes throughout the 18th century. Catholic emancipation. In 1704, the diocese had 41 parishes, but by 1800, these were amalgamated into 24. The chapters disappeared after Catholic emancipation, when the more severe provisions of the penal laws were relaxed. There followed a period of church building. Churches were erected in Ballymaquid and Ballinasloe, the latter designed by McCarthy and Pugin. Landlord intransigence prevented the building of a cathedral in Loughrigh until 1897, when Bishop Healy laid the foundation stone, which was fortunate because the era of the Celtic revival and Irish stained glass had begun, with happy results in its interior decoration. The Sisters of Mercy were brought to Loughrigh in 1850 by Bishop Derry and spread to 5 towns in the diocese, operating primary and secondary schools, industrial schools at Loughrigh and Ballinasloe, and a domestic economy school at Portumna. They also staffed the workhouse hospitals in Loughrigh, Ballinasloe and Portumna, and latterly the county home in Loughrigh. The Sisters of Mount Carmel, who have been in Loughrigh since the 17th century, conducted a school there up to 1860 but have since been an enclosed order. In 1945, Bishop Dignan introduced the Franciscan Missionaries of the Divine Motherhood to Ballinasloe, where they built Portiuncula Hospital, which has been enlarged many times since and is now a general hospital under the Western Health Board. The diocesan seminary, begun at Loughrigh by Bishop Derry in the 19th century, was succeeded by St. Joseph's College at Carton at Esker and finally at Garbley Park since 1924. The Dominicans, who had come from Athenry, ran a college at Esker for a time, where now the Redemptress have a house for retreats. Ordinaries. The following is a basic list of the post-Reformation Roman Catholic bishops.